Well, good morning again, everybody. Welcome to the Team Excellence Call. This is Lynn Gardner calling in for the last time from beautiful Virginia. This is the last rabbit I'll be chasing with you guys. And, you might be glad of that, right? Chasing rabbits all over the place. I'm stepping down to allow room for someone else to serve. And it's not been an easy decision for me because you all are such a blessing to my life. You have no idea. And it's been such an honor to serve, but it's the season. So just so you know, I will be launching my own call. It'll just be one day a week, and it'll take place. It started after the 4th of July. I'm not sure exactly what date yet. Although it's likely to be on Thursday, it certainly won't conflict with this call. And I'll also have a podcast set up that will house all my calls. So if you have a desire to tune in, that'll be a good place to do it. But the best avenue I have for getting the word out, good news and bad news, is Facebook. So if you're on Facebook, please watch for the announcements. And if you could be so kind to share the information for that call with your friends not on Facebook, that would be greatly appreciated. I'd also like to invite you, if you want to be sure you're notified, you can email me. And my email address is lynn@livinglarger.life. Don't you just love it? Last night I was sitting on the porch as the sun went down, and it was such a beautiful evening. The fields were just full of lightning bugs, or you might call them fireflies, depending on where you come from, right? I've lived in the South all my life, and I didn't realize until just the last couple years that not everybody has the blessing of those lightning bugs. I had no idea. I just thought everybody got them, right? It's so magnificent to see. They come up from the ground, so the ground up, and they just kind of lift up. A lot of them hover, just a few feet above ground. Some of them make their ways into the trees, and it's just so magnificent. It almost looks like those twinkly Christmas lights all over the fields. And it's one of the things that I love the most about this time of year. It's harvest time. And as I was sitting there, on the porch, the sun was going down, two of the fields were out cutting, or people were out cutting in their fields. Some of those farmers are getting the second cut for the year. A few of them were out harvesting again, like I said, after dark, and I could hear the diesel roar, and I could smell the hay, and I could even see the lights on the tractors from afar. When the season is right, you do whatever it takes to get the job done. And that's exactly what the farmers were doing last night, cutting and baling before that scorching heat of this new day that no doubt will be cooled off eventually by rain. So the timing is always key. So these things inspired the message for you today entitled, When It's the Right Time. I know that God's timing is perfect in all things. But based on what I know, I'm confident that there's never been a more important time for me to be sharing the good news of my faith. I know that I feel the fire under me, right? And I run without growing weary because of it. The time is now for me to act. God's timing is God's timing, but I also know that there's a practical look at timing, like the farmers in the fields, right? Where we're faced with a decision to act or not to act. I've made a difficult decision to act in terms of these calls. In business, it always comes down to whether or not you'll act when that timing is right, though. Rest assured, the timing is right for every single one of you and beyond. Some of you were able to attend the global convention. Unfortunately, my life got in the way of me attending. For me, it's always God first, then family, then business. And sometimes that priority list takes a life of its own, right? So I had to focus on things other than my business during global I had, planned to attend. But for those of you who attended, no doubt you're still flying high. I've been living vicariously through all of you. High from the experience, high from the strengthened relationships, high from new relationships, high from rekindled relationships. I'm sure it was just magnificent. High from all the good things you learned. And now is your time to act. When you're flying high with excitement and you've been encouraged for the journey, that's the time you get going in high gear. The $64 question is, will you act, or will you just reminisce about the good time you had in San Diego? It's a good thing to have a good time, and believe me, I know how to have it. That's part of what makes working for yourself a pleasure. And there's no doubt there's plenty of good times that come along with convention. But the biggest purpose of any convention in any industry is to prepare you to act and not just to entertain. Those farmers harvesting hay know when to act if they want to succeed. They know there really is no choice if they want to succeed. And you need to know the same thing about your business. Whether you attend a convention or not, I want to be sure to remind you that you are on the edge of some amazing things. It truly is the perfect storm, the right time. You are in position to ride a wave that you've never seen the likes of if you'll start acting now. Give you a couple examples. Well, bottled water, of course, we all know is outselling sodas for the first time since the 1980s. Bottled water takes up more real estate in the grocery store than any other item. Most people don't trust their tap water, and millions upon millions of bottles of water are being sold just because their belief system is that it's safer than tap. Alkaline water's on the rise. Again, you just look in that grocery store, you'll see dozens and dozens of options for alkaline water, hydrogen infused water. They're really trying to chase that market in the plastic water business. People are beginning to realize the importance of a balanced body, and that's very good news. The environmental or the green business is very big business, and we have the only viable solution for water. Reports are out about high levels of arsenic being found in bottled water from trustworthy sources, and we hear about E. coli being found in some bottled water. We now know that up to 20,000 chemicals can make their way into a bottle of water through the manufacturing process, and it was recently reported that the average American absorbs enough plastic particles just in a week's time, in fact, to the tune of about 5 grams, the size, if you will, of a credit card. We know that those plastic particles can't be seen with the naked eye, and we know that they're making their way into the bloodstream. We know that the EPA refers to chlorine as a pesticide, and we know that it can be attributed to cancer. We know that women with breast cancer, and of course men too, have a tremendous amount of chlorine byproducts found in the breast tissue, much, much, much more than their friends without breast cancer. So what's my point? My point is you need to act now. And your action should not just be chasing sick people around or just sharing water for health. Just by focusing on those environmental problems, from our own health to the health of the planet, there is a fortune to be had that you can't begin to comprehend. Now, you know that I launched the book, Toilet Taps and Trash, earlier this year, and it made it to #1 bestseller on Amazon. What an honor, right? But not just due in part because of the number of people in our world who purchased it. Sadly, so many people in our world, they don't even understand the importance of investing in your business, even to the tune of buying a book. It made it to #1 in large part because the world is searching for answers. And guys, you got the solution. More and more people are waking up to the dangers of plastic and tap, and that's a very good thing. But if you don't act now by spinning your message just a little tiny bit in tune with the market, you might not cash in on the biggest opportunity you have. And I know, if I could open up the line this very minute, so many of you would be, complaining that I just want to help people. That's not the way I roll. I really don't care about money. And you think if you tweak your direction that somehow it's less compassionate. But let me ask you a question. Would you rather help one at a time, a few people a month, focusing on sickness, or would you rather help the masses by focusing on our environmental exposure that frankly is the root of the sickness in the first place? There should only be one answer for you. Our slogan, change your water, change your life, and it's a blessing beyond words to change the life of another human being in every way, financially, from their health standpoint, and certainly spiritually. It's just such a blessing in every way, right? But tucked away in our mission is the potential to change the world as we know it, one bottle at a time. And the way we really have an impact like that is if we speak the language of the other ones that are looking, right? We know what kind of fish we're looking for. And if the ones we're trying to reach, if we reach out to them with the right words and the loudest voice we can muster up, we got big problems, folks, beyond just focus on health. When people make a decision for health, we change their lives, and more often than not, we get to change the life of their family too, and that's a blessing beyond measure. But what about all those other things? What percentage of our own people actually determine to do their part for the environment that will change for the next generation and beyond? So in ways I can't even put words to. Our mission is not just having great drinking water, and it should not be the focus of just the focus of sick people. You know, I saw someone post a question online, I think it was yesterday, something like, you know, when people ask you why you drink Kangen water, what do you say? And I was shocked to see a few people comment on the taste. Hey, listen, I'm glad it tastes good, but if you went with that, for me, I didn't even drink water before Kangen water. You've never gotten there telling me it tastes good. So I'm not convinced that you'll convince somebody else to buy into technology to the tune of $5,000 just for the taste. Then we have those that, despite the warnings, despite the pleadings, despite the begging, they refuse to guard their words about healing. They just go out, they don't care, they want to talk to people, they under the guise of helping people, and they say things that jeopardize all of us. You know, for those, they're focused, they're determined to spread reckless testimony as it puts us all at risk. That's a very sad thing. But the saddest part for me is that our mission is bigger, and so few people truly understand it. It's broader, and the world is begging for a solution. I'm sure you're aware that Canada, for instance, has a goal to eliminate single-use plastics by the year 2021. Can you imagine the scrambling that will go on if that happens? How many people trying to figure out what in the world am I going to drink? You know, I wish the U.S. would do the same thing, but I don't mean to be pessimistic, but I kind of doubt that'll ever happen because the U.S. is driven by greed and convenience. But that doesn't stop us from trying. And it doesn't stop us from making a difference. It's the same way as it is with my faith. You know, I can share, I love and spread the good news from sun up to sundown, but sadly, most people won't get it. But even still, I have an obligation to share, and some people will embrace it, and they'll make eternal differences in life. Nothing should stop us from acting on the biggest tragedy our world has ever known, seriously. So, will you determine to act now? Or will you keep doing what you're not doing and missing out on a mission that's bigger than your wildest dreams? Only you can decide that. Whatever you do, whatever your focus, whatever your goals, you need to act now. If in every area of your life, right? Not just for a check, although wealth is a good thing. You know, the more wealth we create, the more we can put in the kingdom, right? There's nothing wrong with wealth. Not just because for your passion for sick people, but for the world. You know, for the environment. If those farmers sat back and waited for the right time, or to the time when they actually felt like harvesting the hay at, you know, after dark, they'd lose out on the crop in the process. They'd lose their success. They'd lose their opportunity because the time was now. Don't lose out, guys. This is your time. It's the perfect time in history, since the history of the world, for our mission of true health. It's the perfect storm, and we have the only viable solution for water. So I plead with you to act now. Don't just ride the wave of a convention and go out and think you're going to go conquer the world and then go back into a coma. Act now. You have the tools, you've got everything. You need to stop procrastinating. If things aren't working for you, ask for help. If you've got the heart for it to work and you're even putting in effort, it's not working, ask for help. You know, there are a few partakers of the Living Larger course that I'm teaching right now that finally get it. They get the bigger picture, and they understand the time is now. They understand how to reach the world, and what they don't understand, I'm trying to teach them how to influence others toward change in every area of life, from your faith to the business. So will you make just a few minor tweaks to what you're already doing to reach beyond sick people in your neighborhood to a place where you can reach the world? There is a season for everything under the sun, and now is the season for magic. Don't question that for 1 second. My deepest desire for you is that you will get it, that you'll run like never before, so that you don't miss the season and you can bless so many people in the journey. That you'll act because it's the right thing to do, that you'll be open-minded to other ways of spinning your business or spinning your message, if you will, because that's the way we reach the world, because it's a vehicle for your success, and it's a vehicle for your whole mission of true health. You know, as I've walked this journey with you, I've chased a lot of rabbits. I've threaded faith into every message I've brought your way, and I've done my part to motivate you from afar. Thanks to Omar Ramirez for that opportunity to help unify us from coast to coast, right? I've done my part to try to do that from afar. You may not be aware of this, but I've prayed over each and every one of these calls and everybody tuning in. And I hope I blessed you, even a fraction of how much you blessed me. I look forward to seeing some of you in October, and I look forward to meeting every single one of you that I haven't met somewhere along the line, here at the farm or at a conference or somewhere. So now go make it a blessed day, guys. And, you know, it's the day, I hope this is going to be a day that you determine to act. So that you'll ponder my words and the timing of what you have right at your fingertips. It's so big, you can't even get your head around it. I'll see you at the top. Until next time, be blessed, guys. Bye-bye.